Next making her way is Eva Thakran, a first-year student pursuing her master's in cybersecurity. She has always been passionate about cybersecurity and its related aspects. She has done three prominent security internships, one at ISAC New Delhi and another at Volvo Eicher Private Limited. She has gained hands-on experience on tools like Falcon CrowdStrike and Kali Linux. She was selected for the Gurugram Police Cybersecurity Summer Internship 21, where she learned about various cybercrimes, deep web, dark web, ransomware, etc. She is keen about resolving everyday cyber threats and social media crimes, and hence is pursuing masters in order to expand her horizon of knowledge in this field. Eva.
Thank you so much, Shreya, for the introduction. And thank you so much, Nihil ma'am, Dhaval Shah sir, and Shashi ma'am for giving me this opportunity. I hope I'm audible and visible.
Yes, Eva.
Okay, ma'am. So my today's topic is case study on social media crime. So I'll just share my PPT. Is my presentation visible?
Yes.
Okay. So social media crime. So what is cybercrime? So cybercrime is any criminal activity that takes place on a computer or is being hosted from a computer or a network device. So mostly, but not at all, cybercrime is committed by cyber criminals or hackers. So what is the motive behind these criminals? So the motive could be revenge, could be money, or any sort of other reason that they any grudge that they have towards any employee or any other friend. So this is what cybercrime is. Types of cybercrime: there is hacking, there is denial of service attacks, there is cyber terrorism, identity theft, phishing, spam, software piracy, and malicious code. So today we will be focusing on social media crime, which is mainly about identity theft, phishing, spam, and inserting malicious code. Okay. So, what are the ways by which we can carry out a cybercrime? So, there are two ways. So, the first way is the computer can be used as a weapon. Your computer or any electrical system can be used to commit real world crime. For example, cyber terrorism, credit card fraud, etc. Second, your computer is being used as a target. Your computer can be used to attack another systems. So this concept is known as bots. So your systems are converted into bots and then they are used to target other computers. Okay. So let's study some case studies. So this is the news about Pegasus. So this news came in just today only. I hope everyone saw this news. So Pegasus, the headline reads: UK court says Dubai ruler ordered phones of ex-wife lawyers to be hacked. So what did the Dubai's ruler did? So Dubai's ruler Sheikh Mohammed, what he did was he ordered the phones of his wife and her lawyers to be hacked. So he wanted to read the messages or he wanted to see where are they at right now, where they're present, and like who she has been chatting with, and all the information that is present in her ex-wife in his ex-wife's phone. Okay, so what did he use? He used a sophisticated Pegasus software. Now I will explain you what Pegasus is. And so what is this situation being considered as? The findings represent a total abuse of trust. So what he did was a total abuse of trust. You cannot leverage application to spy on anybody. So that is against the law, and indeed an abuse of power to a significant extent, which was given by the President of Family Division in England and Wales. Okay, so this is what the UK court ruling said. So now, what is Pegasus? Now, I'm pretty sure everybody heard about the Pegasus news in India also this year, because the government was being attacked. People are saying that Modi government attacked other governments to find out what they are doing on their campaigns. So, what is this chaos and news about? So, what is Pegasus? So, Pegasus is actually a spyware which was developed by Israeli spy arms firm NSO Group that can be covertly installed on mobile phones. Covertly, sorry. So what happens is it is a spyware. You will not be informed, or you will not get to even know that it is present in your phone without even your knowledge, and it would be in their phone. And the main important, like the most very good feature of this Pegasus spyware is that the attacker or the criminal who is wanting to install this Pegasus software in your phone will not even require your phone to put this into your phone. So this is like the most dangerous threat that is present in the world right now. So what it does is it is capable of reading your text messages, and it is capable of tracking your calls, collecting passwords, location tracking, accessing the target's device is microphone and camera. Okay, so what this is what Pegasus does. So what? Let's read another news about Pegasus only. Researchers discover a fake antivirus tool for Pegasus by hackers impersonating an Amnesty International. So Amnesty International is a website. So what have hackers been doing is that they are impersonating an application, actually an antivirus software tool, which they are using to counter Pegasus spyware. So hackers are now creating fake antiviruses tools. So we need to be aware of those tools as well. So what is this malware? Sarvent. It isn't very popular, but it is potentially harmful and can be, and as it can be active remote desktop protocol in the victim's device. So it will take a remote access to your computer, and you will not be able to know. Okay. So let's move on to next case study. So the headline reads, "Conman sells land on the moon." Okay, so this is like, who does not want land on the moon? Everybody wants to travel, and everybody wants to see the Earth from the outer space. So this is very like luring to the people. So what happened is a con man was pretending to be a woman on social media. Now this is a case of impersonation and identity theft. So he is pretending to be somebody else on the social media and is selling people land on the moon, sorry, by, and is also offering huge returns for investments in cryptocurrency. So he's asking people to invest in cryptocurrency, and he's saying, and he's claiming that you will get huge returns for these investments. So what all other things he has done is higher returns for deposits made. So according to the police, the con man, his actual name is Akash Narayana, is operating on social media in the name of Uska Abu Bakr. So this is impersonation. So he is pretending to be somebody else. Now this is a major social media crime. So investigations so far have said he has cheated many people either by offering huge returns on investments they make in cryptocurrency or by selling them land on moon. So this is totally fake. It's advised that you do not believe in such news or in such advertisements that are offering you such because this is like, you can see that it is totally fake. You feel like it's too good to be true. So you should always be careful about this. Okay, another case study, it's not mentioned here, but I'll be telling you. So it's the new campaign that is being happening in India right now is because, like we all know, we are in the situation of pandemic and we are all present at home, and like there have been financial losses, so we have all been wanting to earn money. So now what campaign is being going around in the world, in India currently right now, is that you must be seeing that you're getting messages on your phone that earn 10,000 a day, and join us. You'll just have to make a report, and then you'll get 10,000 a day. So what actually they are doing is that they will first hire you, then they will make you sign an NDA agreement, which is a non-disclosure agreement. So as you all know that the agreement is too long, so nobody even cares to read that agreement. So we just sign that. So people sign that agreement. Then what happens is that you are given a project. So you are only given the task that you're given a document. So you just have to write the same document in another file. So they're just seeing how you can type fast and how much your accuracy is and all that stuff. So after 2 days, you like submit that report. Then and you've done the work. You've spent your entire day and you're able to do the work, and like you really want this job. So you do the report correctly and you then submit it. Then what happens is they tell you that the work that you've done is wrong. Okay. So now you're like that you have not done anything wrong. You just copied. So how could that be possibly wrong? Then what they do is they send you a message that you need to pay like 50,000, 40,000, any cash they will be asking you. So then they will say, then you will be denying it, you cannot pay, you will not pay because you didn't even get the job. Now they are asking you money instead of them paying you money. So what they will be showing you is a legal document, the NDA that you signed earlier. So now you are legally bound to pay that money. So that is the cases that are going on right now. So I advise you that you do not see these offers and you do not get tempted by these, because these are exactly too good to be true. Okay, so moving on to the next case, Colonial Pipeline. So this is a major company in US. So when did this attack occur? It occurred on 7th May 2021. So the perpetrator was DarkSide. So DarkSide is ransomware. So the ransom that was demanded by the attacker was $5 million. And the ransom paid by the company was $4.4 million. And the ransom is always paid in terms of Bitcoin. Okay. So then what was the attack? According to a Bloomberg investigation, the attack was facilitated by a single compromised VPN account password. So the company is like a very good company and at a very sophisticated position. So where did the things went wrong? So they were using a VPN network, virtual private network, and they were doing their transactions or they were doing their meetings or anything else they were doing. So what happened that their password was not secure enough and was not safe enough, and it was very weak password. So that password got compromised. The attacker was able to successfully decipher the password, and then he used that password to gain access to their environment. So this is how he got into their environment, and then he installed the DarkSide ransomware. So that's how he did it. And then okay, so now what is ransomware? I'll tell you. So ransomware is it's a malicious software. What happens in this is that now you see the situation. In this situation, what is happening? The attacker is able to get access to the environment or to the company. So now what he is going to do is he's going to take all the data present in all the files or the confidential files and all the types of files that is present. He will take those files and then he will put all those files in a folder or any drive, and then he will encrypt that data. So now the company is not able to access their data because the data is already encrypted. So now the attacker asks them to ask them money in return, so that the company is now legally not legally bound, but now is forced to pay money to the attacker so that they can get their information back and the attacker does not leak the message, the files or the confidential files. So now what happens in most cases is the company usually pays the ransom, and then the attacker would what the attacker would do, that they would give a decryption key so that the company can decipher their file that was encrypted by the attacker, and then it is safe with them. So now what happened in this case is that they did pay the money. Okay, and although later $2.3 million was actually recovered also. So what we can learn from this attack is that how even critical national infrastructure, so this is a very large national infrastructure, largest oil supply pipeline in the US, are not immune to ransomware threats. Fuel shortage led to panic buying and higher prices across many days. The average consumer was as much as a victim as Colonial Pipeline. So almost everybody was a victim of it. So this is what we need to be taking care of, how to protect our passwords. So we all know that I know everybody is aware that we need to make long passwords and need to keep them safe. So, but the point is that for every application or every website that you visit and you log into, you will not use the same password. I know it's a very tedious task to remember all those passwords, but it's very important that you make different passwords for every other website or every other application that you log into. And the password should not be crackable. It should always be a combination of letters, alphabets, symbols, and upper text and numbers. So that's how you make a fine and a strong password. And I suggest you that you write down them on a paper or keep them. Just don't store in your computer. Just keep them write them on your notepad, in your physical notepad. Okay, and then keep them safe. Just don't make the same passwords again. Okay, so now what we have learned about ransomware. So this was an example of ransomware. So facts about ransomware: over half of ransomware victims pay the ransom. Okay, so now there have been a lot of cases of ransomware this year and last year also because of the pandemic, because everything is online. So people are getting the company is getting attacked and the data is being breached. So, but only a quarter see their full data returned. Only a quarter, imagine. Now, more than half, that is 50%, 56% of ransomware victims paid the ransom to restore access to their data last year, according to a global study of 15,000 consumers conducted by a global security company known as Kaspersky. So what we learn is that even after paying the ransom, you're not getting the data, fully data. Only half a quarter are getting that data. Sorry, only a quarter. So yet for 17% of those, paying the ransom did not guarantee the return of stolen data. However, as public awareness of potential cyber threats grows, there is a reason for optimism. So always we hope that something nice happens. But what we need to do is at our end is we need to protect our data. We need to create backups of that data so that even if our data is getting compromised, we still have a data in present back in some other server which we can use again. So that's how you preserve your data. Then this, I'll just show you another. So there is this website, no more ransomware, no more ransom. So using this website, you will be able to, just a second. Can you see this website, nomoreransom.org?
No, Eva, we are not able to see it.
Okay, ma'am, I'll just try again. Ma'am, was my PPT visible earlier?
Yes, it was visible.
Okay, ma'am. So now this is a website, nomoreransom.org. So like in the case of Colonial Pipeline, there was this, just a second, there was the ransom dark side. Okay. So now what this website is doing, it's helping you that you can use. So dark side was the Colonial Pipeline ransomware that was there. So what users can do is they can go to this website, they can use this link and they can decipher. So this is a decryptor. So this is a decryptor for the dark side ransom. So companies can use this website to decrypt their data. So it's a very useful tool and it's a very useful website. So everyone can use it. So like these are the various ransomwares. So you can click on any and you'll be able to download the software and then you'll be able to decrypt your data. Okay, so ma'am, is my PPT visible?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Yes, Eva.
Okay. So this study we discussed, then ransomware discussed. So now let's talk about social media like Instagram, Facebook. So like now we discussed the case of impersonation or fake accounts. So there is a very good feature present on Instagram and Facebook. Let's take the example of Instagram. So if you come across a website or an Instagram handle or a profile that you feel like it's not fake and it's not real and it's fake and it's trying to be somebody else or it's trying to be you, then what you can do is then you can click on the three dots present. Then you will be getting a series of questions which you need to answer correctly. So in order for the Instagram to block that account. So like choose a reason for reporting this profile. You reported it's inappropriate. Then why are you reporting this account? I believe the account violates Instagram guidelines or such like that. Report account. So now in this thing, what will you do is, why are you reporting this account? This question is very important. What will you do is, this profile is pretending to be somebody else, or the next thing it will ask you, who is it? Why are you who is it pretending to be? So you'll be able to say me. That is impersonation of yourself. So that is pretending to be you only, or somebody I know, or celebrity, or anybody. Okay. Then you click on report this account. So what's very important in this procedure is that we all know how the procedure works and we always click and report. But what's key point that we need to notice is that we always need to follow the right steps. If we click on anything wrong, like it's posting spam, instead of like the actual reason was that it was pretending to be somebody else, and we say the cause was posting spam, then the Instagram algorithm will not be able to identify that this profile was wrong and it will still be present on Instagram. So it's very important that you follow these steps carefully, and the same procedure goes for Facebook. Okay. And if you are still not able to block any report any like profile, then there is also another feature that is block that account. So now Instagram has come across with very good feature, that is block. So now what it does, it for usually used to just block that account. Now there is another feature, that is block account. Then it says that this account will be blocked and any other accounts created by the same person will also be blocked. So now that's a future guarantee, like that if that same account is making any other account with another name, then because we will not be able to identify that account, so what the Instagram does is that account will also be blocked immediately. So now we are safe. Okay, so these were the no ransomware that where we have decryptors. Then there is another website provided by the government, that is cybercrime.gov. Okay, I'll just show you. Is it visible, ma'am?
Yes, Eva.
Okay, so this what this website does is that you can come on this website and report any kind of crime that is happening, any kind of cyber crime. Like it has another different separate section for women and child, and this is like very important feature. Report anonymously, so you do not even have to disclose if it's you. Like if like cases of pornography or morphed images, like your image was posted on somebody else's body, and like you are of course like you do not want to disclose that it was you, because of course you do not want to get recognized in public. So what you can do is report anonymously. So the you'll be getting a very long form. For that you just need to fill all the details carefully, and you'll also need to provide the evidence, like where your profile or where the crime occurred. So you need to provide the correct evidence, and then you need to submit. So this is very important. Then you can report any other crimes. So it has all other resources also, like it has safety tips, so you can like go through this website again and again, and then you can stay updated about the cyber crimes and the tips, cyber awareness and such things. Okay, yeah. Okay, so now in 2021, this year only, the IT rules were again revised and were released. So on February 25, the ministry released intermediary guidelines and digital media ethics code rules. So what was the rule? So according to the rule 4, part 1, a significant social media intermediary such as a Facebook or a Instagram or Twitter, that is a social media intermediary having more than 5 million registered users in India, within 3 months from threshold, therefore, has to establish three tier system for observing due diligence, compromising of a chief compliance officer. So what basically this rule says is that if there is any social media platform which has more than 5 million people registered on it, so it needs to follow a procedure, it needs to follow a system wherein so the company needs to assign three main officers. So why are they doing this? To observe diligence, and so that the safe, smooth ongoing of this website. So what is the first officer? Chief Compliance Officer. And I'm pretty sure you all must have heard the news of Twitter, because recently Twitter was given the order by the courts that you need to appoint a chief compliance officer, and passed their deadline for appointing. Then their date was again extended by the court. So now they have the three officers. So that is a relief for all of us. So now what are these three officers? Okay, Chief Compliance Officer is a nodal contact person. So you can contact this person 24/7 and you can coordinate with him, and he's with coordination with law enforcement agencies. So, and officers to ensure compliance to their orders or requisitions made in accordance with the provision of laws and rules. So, like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you can go on the website and you can search Chief Compliance Officer. Like even after following all the steps that I've mentioned previous in this presentation, like you can go and report yourself, you can report anonymously on the website, and even if after all these steps and you're not able to like get rid of the crime that was happened against you or happened with you, so what you can do is that you can contact these chief compliance officer and resident grievance officer which is residing in India. Okay, so you can contact these people. So just one thing that you need to take care of is like for each platform there is a separate person or separate officer present. So like if let's take the example of morphed image. So like your image was distributed on Instagram and Twitter or any other website. So now when you're reporting that crime to the police or any other person, so in that crime you need to report to the police only, because for here, like you have chief nodal officer for Instagram, so you'll be only be able to tell that person about the Instagram post. So now there is the crime is present on three different platforms. So for every three platforms, you need to go to every individual platform and report it there. Okay, so just be careful that you have to report it in on every platform it occurred. Okay, then only it will be get removed. So okay, then it will be reported. They will go through the your case, and then they will take down the image. Okay, so OTT. So we all are aware of OTT platforms, like Hotstar, and we watch movies or shows on this. So another rule was passed for this: online news and digital media where these are present. A code of ethics was ruled out this year. So what is it? OTT platforms would be called as publishers of online curated content, the content that is created online only and under the new rules. They would have to self-classify the content into five categories. So they need, because like in India, the you can even have access to porn. They don't even see your age limit. So now it according to the IT rules, it has been made mandatory by the government that these OTT platforms need to classify the content that they're presenting to the users of India, or they're showing in India, into categories based on age, and parental locks would be present on age above 13 and higher. They also need to include verification mechanisms for the content that is classified as adult. Okay, so for social media, so these new rules that have been come in accordance with Supreme Court, these says that these intermediaries are mandated to remove or disable contents that are against the safety and dignity of individual within 24 hours or 24 hours of receiving of complaints. So now this is a relief for all of us. So like a crime has been committed, and now you report that crime to that officer on that platform. So now those chief nodal officers, what they'll do is that they will go through your case, and then they will remove or disable your content within 24 hours. So this is a very important rule, and it is very like useful, and it was like very needed in India at this point of time. So such complaints can be filed by an individual or person on his or her behalf. Like I just showed you how that can be done. According to so like examples against violence, riots, terrorism, rape, or threat. So these are the cases, the things that happen. So you can register your case on the website, or you can just go to the police and provide your evidence and the right evidence. Okay, then only it will be able to take them down. Overview of guidelines. Okay, so like I said, the system has three officers: a chief compliance officer, a nodal contact officer, and a resident grievance officer. Okay, and that's it from my side. Thank you. And this is my LinkedIn profile if you need to contact me, or in case you have any doubts.
Thank you, Eva.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
it was really nice, like, compilation of different types of crimes that happens online, I think. And you also nicely went into the depth of many of those crimes where, how they perpetuated it, what was going on behind the scenes. So, it gives an idea that if you are, interactive in your digital life, then individuals as well, everybody here, attendee or who is going to listen to this recorded webinar, is going to be able to, at least get some real-time learning experience that is not just theoretical, that every time when cybersecurity awareness month comes, you do this, do that. But this is something, what happened in real life. So people can relate with the incident and the tips and hygiene practices that we tell them. So whether it's password security, where companies should actually essentially deploy multi-tier security, multi-factor security, and as well as on the privacy side, if you are storing some data, then you are bound to protect it by encryption and proper access management rules. So that happens where on the corporate side, there's a responsibility, but on the user side also equal responsibility to not to share your sensitive data, just freely over the public chats or on the Facebook. So like any kind of social media, so we have to be careful of what you are sharing, and when something wrong happens, because does happen many times where people accidentally clicks on link, they download malware, things happen. But I think as soon as they notice something unusual, just immediately report it and it'll take help. So I think these are some of the tips that people will follow, and I think they will get guidance from this. But really nice compilation of all the things that's happening around us.
Yes, thank you.
So, thank you, Eva, to bring this topic on this platform. And this is very much informative. And I'm sure this video who is watching, they also get benefit of your knowledge that you share here.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, sir, for giving me this opportunity.
You're welcome. Anybody in the audience, any questions? Anyone have? So I think looks like we can join in the networking session, and we can mingle over there, and everybody can take opportunity to know each other.
And also, I fixed the problem of how to get in. We are not able to get in networking class today. I think you
Yeah.
don't you don't have any problem.
Yeah. So just try to join a table and see how it works and talk to each other.
Bye bye.
Take care, everybody.